We did it, Max. I think we're like somewhat ready for a show on time today. Here we are, back on the SquadCast. Episode 61. You called it the Mark Stone episode. I'm going to call it the Rick Nash episode. Either way, it's, we're here for another episode.
It's not a Toronto Maple Leaf.
The
future or former Toronto Maple Leaf.
I don't know if there has been a Maple Leaf who has worn 61, at least of prominence. I'd have to think. I'd have to go to hockeyreference.com, I think.
61's a tough one. Maxim Afinogenov, though.
Was he 61?
I believe so.
Pretty good one. Afinogenov back in the day. Welcome in. You are the squad. You are the finalists. You guys drive this show, so thank you for coming in, stopping in on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. If you don't mind, head over to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. That's where we'd love you to go. If you're watching on Facebook, great. If you're watching on Twitter, great. But head over to our YouTube, hit that subscribe. Hang out there for a little bit if you want. Smash the comments. Let's get it going. All over the place.
How do you smash comments?
Like really, just like kind of abuse your keyboard. Yeah, like smash your keyboard.
So we do not condone abuse.
No, of keyboards. Not even of keyboards.
Nope, not of anything.
That's fair.
Nope.
Probably for the best. But either way, welcome into the show and ask us anything throughout the night. I don't know, Jordan, can you flip that one up there? We got the new Hulk Hogan shirt going on. I know he's getting everything prepped back there.
Poor guy. He's doing. You just get to sit here and talk, and
talking about abuse. So we're
exactly. Yeah, I was going to say. Oh, jeez.
We got director abuse going on back there, too.
He made 61 episodes, and he hasn't reported us once.
Oh, he doesn't have the new photo? You can put the old photo up if that's the case, if that works, too. But I'll just keep flipping my hair. It is. I don't know what happened to the new photo. Maybe we didn't save it. We might not have saved it in the file. Well, I'm going to... Let's blame Rolf. Rolf, it's your fault. Anyways, ask us anything. Send us comments, questions, topic suggestions.
I didn't ask to ride that bus or be thrown under it.
Yeah, we're definitely. I don't ride buses.
You had one graphic, man. You had one.
I throw people under buses. I don't ride them. So, anyways, we're here. So we're gonna get to going. We got to get to going.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Like a lot.
Tonight is going to be a different format, so to speak. Because there is literally just so much stuff to talk about, we're going to split the first segment up into pretty much hockey topics.
Hockey.
We're going to bring in our special guest for tonight, which is Ryan Moir, our good buddy Ryan, who we've met over the last few months. He is the co-founder of Wood Jerseys. You recall, if you're a big SquadCast fan, we did a big giveaway. It got great reception, and our buddy Adam Schultz won it. Adam, are you here? So Adam Schultz won a Calgary Flames customized Wood jersey for winning the contest. And Ryan's going to join us tonight to talk about what's next at Wood Jerseys because, man, they just keep getting bigger and bigger over there. Plus, we're going to talk about his sports broadcasting career, which is
He's a busy
probably in itself an interesting interview.
Busy dude.
Yeah, exactly. And he just had a kid, too. So he's all over the place. We're going to catch up with Ryan and just kind of get to know him a little bit.
Common theme with a lot of our guests, they just don't sleep.
No.
Want to be successful, just don't sleep.
Who needs it?
Yeah.
Plus, in segment 3, we're going to break down all of this crazy Major League Baseball news that's been going on as well. It's just been a really busy week, so we want to give each sport almost its own segment just so we can make sure we cover at least most of it. And then at the end of the show, we'll do our NFL picks for Week 13. How's that sound?
We probably should, again, skip a week. This has not been
You had a bad week. I had a bad week. We both had a couple bad weeks in a row in Squad Select for NFL. But let's get into the hockey stuff so we can get right into it. Before we do that, we will get to some of these viewer comments. Katie Fleury's checking in. Sleep is for the weak, a.k.a. me. Katie's saying she's one of the weak ones. John Ohm is saying hello to everybody. It's a big party in the comments. They're all saying hello. That's what we want. That's why we like doing this because our viewers have a great time, and that's what we're here for. John Ohm says the overreacting of Riders Purifoy is amazing. So that was a bit of a story that we talked about.
That didn't even make the script. That's how much.
Didn't even make the script. We talked about it a lot on the Rod Peterson show today, and I did make a cameo appearance upstairs this morning.
Sir, if you're there for an hour, it's not a cameo.
40 minutes, yeah.
That's pretty good.
We did talk about it. Long story short, Lucas Purifoy, one of the best defensive players. I'm already trying to get into the hockey.
Your mind is just transitioned.
Oh, yeah.
You're already at the blue line.
He got into a bit of a not even a scuffle. We saw the video of it. I guess just an verbal altercation at a restaurant here in Regina on Sunday after the football game with some friends. I think he was with some friends. Maybe his girlfriend was there. Turned into more than it needed to be by the looks of it from what I saw and have heard. And he just was at the police station overnight for questioning. He's not, I don't think there's anything else that's going to come of this. He'll probably play next week's game. But, of course, in Rider Nation, we have been scarred by players getting involved in altercations in the public before. I think back to 2013 as my immediate example, when Dwight Anderson was in Saskatchewan amongst some others, and they went to, I think it was Gabo's or something like that here in Regina, got in a little scuffle, and they got in some legal issues. But at the end of the day, I don't think Luchez was in that type of scenario. It'll all blow over. No big deal. Aaron Matthews is checking in. He says, yes, the Oilers should trade for DeBrusk. Okay, interesting. We're already getting into that, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Elias Gill is here. Hey, boys, I'm here and ready to watch on my new phone. Well, there you go, Elias. Good
stuff. I got a new phone too, Elias.
Yeah, hey.
They're not a sponsor of the show,
Friday
so I
sales.
can't say what kind.
Right.
You probably take
it's
a guess,
red.
but it's red.
It's red. I don't know if that helps at all.
It's red like my beard.
Katie Fleury, I'd be mad too if my food took too long to get to me. And apparently that's where it kind of started. Yeah. Anyways. John Ohm says Troy Westwood's predicting the Bombers beat the Riders by 20. That could be something.
Yeah.
Based
on the two meetings this year, I'd say that's maybe not a bad prediction.
Bombers are good. 15 All-Stars. Riders had 2. Not that always tells the tape. People
David
can
versus
win.
Goliath.
Yeah, it's
happens. Did David ever win? Everybody always references that, but
Yeah, I
did
think
David
so.
actually
I think
beat
the whole
Goliath?
idea is that he won.
I just know that he took him on. I don't know.
Jordan, if you had your headphones in, Jordan, just the buff that he is,
yes,
says that David won handily.
David won handily?
Handily.
In hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah, with the remember he had the little rock.
See, I always
he had
I
the
know
sling.
the reference.
He had the rock sling.
David versus Goliath. Like everybody knows the
Hit
reference.
him in the forehead. Guy fell over.
Did anybody ask if David actually won?
How does Goliath feel about all of this? Did anyone ask about Goliath's feelings? Oh, he died. Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it, Max.
Was a duel to the death.
Let's get into
moving
it.
on.
We do this all the time. We're going to get into the show, and then 7 minutes later, we haven't gotten into it yet. But
that's fine.
Let's do it.
Show.
Topic number 1, we cannot start this show without talking about Marc Bergevin and crew getting fired from the Montreal Canadiens. Now, this comes after... I don't know. The list is long of things that have kind of been weird decisions by the team, things that haven't gone quite their way. Then, of course, they go to the Stanley Cup final, kind of gives them a bit of a leash. And then today, now, or just this week, I should say, not only him, his assistant general manager, Scott Mellenby, also resigned. Trevor Timmins was released, another assistant GM, who has been there for like 20 years, apparently. I didn't realize that about him, but
he'd
been there a really long time, head of the draft for a long time for Montreal. And Paul Wilson, I believe, who I think was just in the communications department or something along those lines, director of hockey operations or something. They are all gone now. Jeff Gorton is coming in, and not Jeff Gordon, Jordan. Don't get excited. He's not the NASCAR guy.
The other
Four-time
Jeff Gordon.
champ, Jordan says. No, Jeff Gorton with a T. He's coming in, former GM of the New York Rangers, and obviously the immediate thing with the Canadians that happens is, but he's not French. No, he's not. So how this is going to work, Max, and I'll get your thoughts on this, is apparently he's going to come in and be the vice president of hockey operations. Mm-hmm. So similar, there's a few teams around the league that are doing it this way. I think the Toronto Raptors, when I think of this way, Masai Ujiri is the VP of basketball or whatever his title actually is. And then there's a general manager, Bobby Webster, who nobody really talks about. It is, and even the Blue Jays, Mark Shapiro is the VP or the president, and Ross Atkins is the GM.
Yep.
But when stuff happens, it's Mark Shapiro that is usually the figurehead of it. Yeah. So this is what I believe is going to be happening with Montreal. Jeff Gordon is going to be the one actually, structuring this team. The GM is going to come in and be that media figurehead that will talk to the French media. So it sounds like they want to bring in a francophone. Whether it's going to be, who is it going to be? I don't know yet. There's a lot of names being tossed around. Our good buddy Eric Engels said Daniel Briere. Patrick Waugh's name is flying all over the place. People want that to happen. That would be something else. Jocelyn Thibault's name is coming up. Matthew Darche, former NHLer who is now with the Lightning. Martin Madden Jr., who's with the Ducks. He's been drafting really well with the Ducks for a few years now. He might be in line to kind of take the next step. So do you think this structure is going to work for Montreal, the way that they have specifically, their requirements with French-speaking people? Or is it going to be another struggle?
It's something new for a classic market, right? I think when you look at the Montreal Canadiens, and again, one of the most, consistent teams in the way they've run their organization since day one over 100 years ago, right? It's a French-speaking general manager who's able to address both the English and French side of the market and the fandom. And at the end of the day, I think when you look at Marc Bergevin, the picture that was brought up, that was a very nice picture of him.
That was a good picture.
If you've seen Marc Bergevin lately, he doesn't. You could tell that this was coming. Marc Bergevin was a little bit burnt out. At least that's what has been kind of bandied about in all the podcasts and all of the reports that have come out since this news has broke. Man, just the deterioration of the relationship, though, that's what I'm most fascinated by. The structure, it'll be interesting. Jeff Gorton, we know he's a well-revered hockey exec. He's somebody that's been having success pretty much everywhere he's went. A lot of people still don't realize how much of the Boston Bruins blueprint is still reaping the rewards of the work that Jeff Gorton did a number of years ago.
And the Rangers, too.
Well, obviously, yeah, that's the most recent spot. I was getting there, but thank you. Anyways, so I mean,
I haven't said anything in a while.
All 2 minutes? Yeah, exactly.
Feels like a long time.
Anyway,
no, you're good.
So, it'll be interesting to see who they bring in as the face, right? As the general manager that's able to address the public in times of crisis and in times of good things as well, too. So it's going to be interesting, but man, the deterioration of the relationship, only, as we were talking before the show, 25%, a quarter of the way through a season right after they made the Stanley Cup final. Yeah. Obviously, this is not the same team that went to the Stanley Cup final just less than 6 months ago.
No Weber, et cetera.
No 8 other guys that were on that team, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's not the same hockey team.
Corey
I think when you look at Marc Bergevin going into a contract year, that was the big question was he going to return? Did Jeff Molson, the owner, feel like he was going to be worth the money that Marc Bergevin had kind of put himself out? And again, going back to the Rangers connections, that Chris Drury contract really changed the landscape for general managers all the way across the NHL. Chris Drury, first-time GM, making in the neighborhood of $4.5 million a year. Marc Bergevin says, hey, I just went to a Stanley Cup final. I'm in arguably the toughest market in the league to manage. What am I worth, kind of thing. Jeff Molson and him obviously wanted to see Jeff Molson wanted to see how this would pan out. It's been a bit of a disaster to start the season. And I mean, even going back to the draft too, that's another thing that, again, the deterioration of the relationship with Logan Mailloux being their selection, the much maligned Logan Mailloux. Man, there's just so many things to point to about where this went bad. My thing is, though, and I'm sure you'll want to talk about this, how did Marc Bergevin lose his job before Jim Benning?
Oof. Yeah.
Nobody's asking that question.
That is an interesting one. Definitely. The Vancouver Canucks, I mean, if we want to transition into that too, I mean, we talked about them last week, trading JT Miller. It might be a lot more than that, the way things are going there. But one thing I would love to ask you guys, the viewers, the fanalists, the squad, what will Marc Bergevin's legacy be as the GM of the Canadiens? Will it be looked at as a good one? A bad one? I mean, he was there for 8 years. He took him to a cup final in the end of it. I know a lot of the middle part wasn't all that favorable for fans. Yeah. They didn't have a ton of success. And there's a lot of questionable moves made. And a lot of, I think, from my understanding of it, from Habs fans' perspective, because, again, I'm not in there, but a lot of it feels like, and shout out to Hockey Illuminati, actually, who gave us, or he put a video out the other day, and I commented on it, but wasting Carey Price's career, so to speak. And that is, given the fact that he's been an elite goalie for at least a decade, Bergevin's been there pretty much the whole time. I mean, he came in a couple years into it with Carey Price, but never quite getting him a team in front of him that could do the job when he was putting up godly numbers. So will that be his legacy? What will his legacy be? I'm curious. What do you think about that?
I don't know. When it comes to his legacy, I mean, at the end of the day, he made a cup final, but no GM takes a job trying to make moves that make your NHL team worse, right?
True.
Unless it's directed by ownership that you're trying to win a draft lottery. But that's obviously never the case with Montreal. It's Stanley Cup or bust there, right? We saw that with the feverish mentality that the team and its fan base experienced on the way to the Stanley Cup final. They still wanted to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, even though, again, going back to the David versus Goliath analogy, it looked very unlikely from day one. Unfortunately, David lost that battle. But I don't know, when it comes to Marc Bergevin's legacy, he's a guy that tried to make the team better. At the end of the day, I mean, it's not a glamorous legacy. It's one that, again, it ends in a bit of turmoil given the start of their 2021 season, but at the same time, he did make a Stanley Cup final this past
and I
summer,
totally agree.
It's hard to sum it up, especially with how fresh that it is. I think when Canadiens fans in 2 or 3 years look back on this time, and if Nick Suzuki pans out, and if Cole Caulfield pans out, if, again, we talk about it, Logan Mailloux pans out, somehow turns his life around and maybe starts, I guess,
you know what,
contributing to this team.
I just reacted grossly to that, and we talked about this before the show, and I think it's a touchy subject. It is. But I think that it should be said that the Canadiens drafting Logan Mailloux was not his fault. No. And he shouldn't... You know what I'm saying here? It's kind of a weird situation because he didn't do anything. He wasn't a good dude. But at the same time, him getting picked wasn't his fault. No, that was the team's decision. He asked not to be. So we don't need to get into that because we're not like defending Logan Mailloux. But anyways,
with the legacy question, like you said, right? It's are his fingerprints from the team that is currently constructed? Are they going to find a way to dig themselves out of this with the 2 first-round selections they have in this coming draft that were his work? Yep. With, again, some of the prospects and some of the young pieces that we just named, right? Caden Gooley, who's going to likely suit up for the World Junior team this year, right? Like there is some things that were done here, and I mean, they did get hot at the right time on the way to the Stanley Cup final. Again,
I think there's an aspect of his tenure that we'll have to look back on maybe down the road. But I think there was a lot of years where they had cap space in Montreal and they never used it. There was a few years in a row where they would have $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, sometimes I think $1 million. And again, I would need to look back on this, but they didn't use it to, they didn't weaponize it and go get somebody. They never made the right big move when they could have, or something.
They're still looking
lines.
For the number one centerman that they
needed a center
that they were searching for when Marc Bergevin was hired.
So, anyways, that should probably do it for the Canadiens. Very big shift in the structure of the NHL. So, obviously, that had to lead the way. The Penguins, speaking of shifts, have been sold to the Boston Red Sox for $900 million. Now, it's not directly to the Red Sox. It's Fenway Sports. What is it? Sports and Entertainment?
Fenway
Sports Group.
Easy Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. Calm down.
Just saying. So there is this big conglomerate starting up now. It's been around for a bit, obviously, but Fenway Sports Group, they have been rumored to be in on all sorts of teams that are maybe up for sale. The Penguins are the first
soccer team. Liverpool.
They have Liverpool. They have the Red Sox. They have one other
real estate.
Yeah, they have another team.
They have a very diversified investment portfolio.
And now, this is their first foray into the NHL. The Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux and company have sold them for $900 million. So, Max.
Around $900 million. Let's get it right.
What does this mean for the Penguins now being owned by the Boston Red Sox, more or less?
In the immediate future, it doesn't seem like too much. I mean, all the figureheads that are currently in the positions that they're at, Mike Sullivan as coach, Ron Hextall as GM, Brian Burke, president of Hockey Ops, Ron Burkle and Mario Lemieux are still going to be within the organization in a, I guess, facing capacity, right? They're still going to be figureheads of the team and faces of the team for how long, I'm not too sure. But this will be one of those transitions where, again, you don't just buy Liverpool because you have the money. They obviously have a plan, Fenway Sports Group does. The Boston Red Sox, one of the most iconic sports franchises that there is on this planet.
And Liverpool, too.
Liverpool as well, too, right? I mean, it's just... they've obviously a very interesting time to buy the team when Sidney Crosby is 35, 36 years old, when Evgeny Malkin is coming back from an injury that potentially was going to cost him his career. It's a very interesting purchase, but I mean, $900 million, it's not a small amount of money. We'll see what I guess the changes. I think the changes that we'll see, at least from a team operations standpoint, those will be the ones we see first, right? The marketing, the social media, things that are on, I guess, a little bit more of a grounded level, more so than an overarching perspective. But it's going to be a really interesting transition to see what this team of a sports group is going to do to I guess, I don't know, change the face of hockey in Pittsburgh, because they're entering a time of transition. Make no mistake about it. They haven't started fantastic this season, at least from the product on the ice perspective. And again, like I said, a couple of figureheads that were catalysts in their 3 Stanley Cups of recent memory. They're heading into the twilights of their careers. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Pittsburgh Penguins look to rebuild. I think I saw that they're the Los Angeles Rams of the National Hockey League, 1 first-round pick in the last 7 years.
Oh, yeah. Their cupboards are pretty bare.
It's pretty bare. So we'll see how it goes. But
when you said Ron Burkle, I thought that was a mixture of Ron Hextall and Brian Burke, and they just combined it into one human being. I thought that would be interesting.
Big brain. I do my research.
Speaking of Lemieux, Max, you want to say this part? You wrote it in the script.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah. Speaking of Lemieux, no, never mind.
No, you're out.
Go right ahead.
Speaking of Lemieux, we got a biter. Brendan Lemieux has
no relation to Mario.
No, different Claude though.
Different.
As Brendan Lemieux takes a bite out of Brady Tkachuk, and this feud has gone back years now, dating back to their dads, Claude Lemieux and Keith Tkachuk. Way back in the day, used to absolutely hate each other. They would fight each other constantly when they would play each other. It has morphed now into the Sons. It's continued the rivalry. There's a story of Brendan Lemieux and Brady Tkachuk getting into a fight in a junior hockey showcase about 5 or 6 years ago now, when they were both teenagers. They hate each other that much that dating back to that era, they still were fighting each other. Now they've fought each other within the last 2 or 3 years about 3 or 4 times. This one resulting in Brendan Lemieux taking a chunk out of Brady's hand after a scrum and some hands being thrown either way. And Brendan, so there's a lot of B names. He got a bite out of him. So this is clearly A, the act is pretty terrible, but B, did you see the Gilbert Gottfried video?
No.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if there's any way we can somehow pull that off. And Jordan, I don't expect you to know where to even look for that. But somebody paid Gilbert Gottfried on Cameo to read Brady Tkachuk's quotes about Brendan Lemieux. Do you know who Gilbert Gottfried is, right?
No.
What? He has a crazy voice. Oh my gosh, Max, we have to do some research after the show. Anyways, Gilbert Gottfried's a comedian. He has this really high-pitched, nasally voice, and somebody paid him.
It's the same as your Buck Martinez.
Yes, that's my Buck Martinez impression. Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried, Buck Martinez, not that far off. Anyways, they paid him money to read Brady Tkachuk's quotes, calling him a clown and calling him, whatever he called him.
Classless,
brickhead, I think was the correct term. I don't know. What else do you have on this one, Max? Do you have any other thoughts?
Well, I think it's time to revive one of the first viral sensations that I was ever exposed to, but the Charlie bit my finger. I think it's time to put some faces on some of those babies, and I haven't seen it around yet. I'm sure it probably is.
I think I heard.
I'm sure greater minds than myself have come up with it over the course of the last 4
days.
But that's what springs to mind when it comes to the pop culture references.
Yeah,
but yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, he's right. It's a gutless play. At the end of the day, it's Brendan Lemieux. It's not like he's got a blank rap sheet here, right?
No,
he's been a part of a couple of questionable things,
and then Jonathan
much like his
Quick,
father was.
Yeah, well, Jonathan Quick comes out and says, "I'd rather have Brendan as a teammate than Brady."
Yeah, the character assassination from Brady. You could tell that feud was a little longer standing than just somebody taking a chunk out of you. But I mean, at the end of the day, right? It is bad. Like,
it's not good.
What are you doing, man? Like,
but at the same time, if you're Jonathan Quick, you can't not defend your teammate at that time. Right, I mean. Maybe he went a little far with saying he'd rather have Brendan as a teammate than Brady Tkachuk, but either way.
Yeah, I think he might have misspoke there.
Yeah.
Again, too many B's in the equation. He got the wrong one.
Okay, you have the Gilbert Gottfried video?
Oh, we're going to get a copyright strike, aren't we?
Oh, wow. Can we somehow try it? Let's see if we can try it. Turn on your headphones if you have headphones. You need your headphones on.
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you directly.
You directly.
Give it a shot, Jordan, if you have it.
Chuck was furious.
Audio.
This is the one
It's
time
not working.
I'm
That's
going to
Gilbert, though.
answer
That was him.
Okay.
Anyways,
Chuck
do some
was
homework.
furious.
Go watch the video
This
because
is
it's
the one
hilarious.
time
He
I'm
can't
going-
pronounce Kachuk to save his life.
Nice.
You do? Okay, give it a shot. I think it's coming.
Chuck was furious. This is the one time I'm going to answer this, said Chuck. It was the most gutless thing somebody could ever do. This guy, you can ask any one of his own teammates, nobody ever wants to play with him. This guy is a bad guy and a bad teammate. He focuses on himself all the time. The guy's just a joke. He shouldn't be in the league. The guy's gutless. No other team wants him. He's going to keep begging to be in the NHL.
He
No
doesn't even know
other
what the
team is
NHL
going
is.
to want him. He's an absolute joke.
Oh, I thought-
I can't even wrap my head around it. People don't even do
This is Chuck's
He's
quote, by
just
the
a
way.
bad guy.
This is what Brady said.
Tkachuk didn't stop there either. It's outrageous. Kids don't even do that anymore. Babies do that. And I don't even know when
Is this guy ringing a bell to you at all?
Yeah, it's Iago from Aladdin.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on.
I
know who Gilbert
He's got
Godfrey is now.
nothing up there.
Oh, man.
Bad
Which makes
Anyways.
sense because now that's all the rage on TikTok, isn't it? That Disney and
Yeah.
TikTok collaborate and you can get all these different voices of characters. I was like,
Yeah.
that's the parrot from Aladdin.
That's him. Anyways,
wow.
so
Okay.
him reading that was just hilarious because
We're going to get a copyright
we're
strike.
gonna we'll be fine. Let's move on. Jack Hughes, quick business today. 8 years, $8 million extension with the New Jersey
8 years,
Devils.
$64 million.
$64
extension.
million
Let's get it
total.
right.
Now this is a deal that
That's a hell of a deal.
It screams to me this is going to be what people are saying about Nathan McKinnon now.
Mm-hmm.
This could be what Jack Hughes is saying in about 6 or 7 years. That it's a team-friendly deal. I can't believe he took that big of a discount, et cetera, et cetera. It's a tidy piece of business for the Devils, who are quiet. I have to take a drink so bad. Who are quietly building a young core that's going to be around for a long time in New Jersey. We have a couple other topics to get to, so I don't know if you have anything to kind of wrap this one up.
No, not as good as a contract as Brian Johansson, but, it's all right, I guess.
Oh, really? Anyways.
I say that facetiously, people.
It's
Calm
true.
down.
Same contract, though, honestly.
It is. It's literally a carbon copy of
Yep.
it. Just change the logo.
Exactly. So I think the argument now with Jack Hughes is going to be, did they overpay because he hasn't had a real breakout year yet? Or is this a great bet on a guy who's probably going to be an elite player?
They know what this kid's going to be, right? At the end of the day, like, he's shown enough
Yeah.
to warrant this type of investment, right? And we talk about it with all the money that's flying around in Major League Baseball and locking up your young stars before they outprice themselves in the market with their play. I think this is a good bet for the New Jersey Devils. I mean, really,
Yeah.
with where they're at in their development cycle, they're obviously having a decent little start to this season.
Yeah.
Why not invest in somebody that potentially is your future captain if Nico Hischier ever moves on?
Well, exactly, and he's locked up for a while too.
Exactly.
So there's all that, and they've got a few other guys too.
Mm-hmm.
Jake DeBrusk has requested a trade. This isn't just rumors; he's straight up requested a move. He has been in Boston now for several years. He's going on to I think his 26-year-old season. I think 25, 26. I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a 96, so he would be 25 at least. Obviously, he's had a pretty good history with the team. He's had some good years, but in recent years, his play has not diminished, but he's been having a lesser role, with Taylor Hall coming in, kind of taking the second line spot from him a little bit, and some other guys kind of coming into the team. He hasn't had as prominent of a role, and he thinks he's ready to move on and find a team that might use him in a better role. There has been a report from Ryan Rishaug of TSN, our good friend, Ryan Rishaug, that up to eight teams have already reached out with interest in Jake DeBrusk, including, this is Elliot Friedman now, maybe the Seattle Kraken want to crack at him, and that Mason Appleton might be the exchange piece in that type of trade. So that would be something. A couple forwards just changing kind of roles and changing spots.
I think based on what Jake DeBrusk has done, I know that you can't really say that he's at his peak value right now. I think he's going to require a bit of a better package than just Mason Appleton. I'm not disrespecting Mason Appleton as a hockey player, but a 1-for-1 there, I don't know.
I don't know if it was 1-for-1 that Friedman said, but just that Mason Appleton might be included in the trade.
Yeah, again, DeBrusk stock isn't high, but I don't know. For as much as DeBrusk
it's been higher for sure.
It's been higher for sure. But
the Oilers and Flames, I would think, would be interested in this guy. He's from Alberta. His dad, Louis, obviously is a big figure in Alberta. Evander Kane, I've heard some people talking about maybe a swap there. He goes to the Bruins. DeBrusk goes to the Sharks. So there's a lot of options. And honestly, if I'm a GM and I need some help on the wing, I'd love DeBrusk. I think he's a great player. Personally, I saw him in junior. Obviously, that was several years ago now. But that guy is a good player, and I think he'll find a good spot, especially if the team wants him.
Just needs a change of scenery, right?
Just needs a change of scenery. A couple of quick ones, and then we're going to hit a break here. Matt Murray has been put on waivers by the Ottawa Senators. He is reporting to AHL Belleville. However, the kind of weird part of this is that he hasn't spoken with Pierre Dorian since the news came down that he was going on waivers. I don't know if that's typical. Maybe we're looking too much into that, as maybe that's just how it works all the time. We don't know.
He's not happy. He's a 2-time Cup winner in this league, and he feels disrespected. That's exactly why he's not talking to the GM.
Well, is it that way, or has Dorian just not picked up the phone and not called him?
Who knows?
Either
right? At
way,
the end of the day, that's for what they wanted Matt Murray to be, especially for the Senators, and that could be a 20-minute discussion on its own. I don't know if we have time in this show for it, but I mean, maybe the Senators, yeesh.
Well, yeah, the Senators,
this is one of many moves to come.
That's a whole show. I think you're right. Jordan, is Ryan logged in? Okay, Jordan's going to keep working on his connection. Jordan, do you need his number? Do you need to talk to him? Okay. Ryan, I'm just going to give your number to our director. He is going to work on a couple of things with you. Let me just get that for you. Max, do you want to talk about the Islanders postponement?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's one that, again, we talked about the New York Islanders last week. Obviously, they're a team in a bit of a tumultuous time with going through COVID and injuries and a myriad of other things. But this isn't something that affects just the New York Islanders, as they're the second team to be impacted in as many weeks, the aforementioned Ottawa Senators being the other, that potentially put a wrench into the plans of the National Hockey League if they're going to send their players to the Beijing Olympics in 2022. Let's face it, right? There's only a 2.5-week gap in the schedule, and they're already having to do some schedule juggling. There's only so many days that the NHL can fit in their ideal 82-game schedule for this 2021-2022 campaign. If they can't do it, the players may not be going to China. So with that being said, again, hopefully no other teams are affected by this, because I know as fans, a lot of people, I'd say probably every fan would like to see best on best in the NHL going back to the Olympics for the first time since 2014. But at the end of the day, COVID, it's the reality that COVID is still here and present in the world, and it's something to be conscious of, and something that's a developing story. And again, if I'd say it's not quite on thin ice, but the water's starting to crack through a little bit when it comes to how much leeway there is going to be in the schedule for teams to potentially go to China if there's going to be more teams impacted. And speaking of Team Canada in international competition, this will wrap up our top of the order before we hit a break. But I guess Hockey Canada is set to unveil its World Junior Selection Camp preliminary invitee roster as early as tomorrow. We're going to be seeing some names that we didn't expect to see, and not seeing some names that we expected to see. And your boy, Brant Clark, is
Why is he my boy? Just because his last name is my first name?
You had said that you were pretty keen on this kid.
Wow.
I don't know.
High draft pick.
He's not on the list.
Not on the list.
He's not on the list.
I just find that really interesting.
Well, his last name is Clark with an E.
That's true.
Clark K.
LA Kings prospect. There's a lot of hype around him at the draft, and he's not even on the list. I think a couple of your boys are going to be on this list.
Potentially.
We'll Zachary LaRue, Predators guy.
Luke Evangelista.
Great name.
Got 30 points. Great name. Luke Evangelista, 30 points, and probably even more than that now.
Goal a game.
He's
by
a stud,
last time he showed me.
But yeah, Predators second-round pick in 2020. He's potentially going to be on this list as well, too. He's having a great season in the OHL, and again, we'll see how it all shakes out. But
not only Canada, their list hasn't actually come out yet. Russia's list did come out. Yaroslav Askarov, your boy's on it.
Yes, sir.
And
it's actually Askarov.
Okay. And Svechkov. What's his Svechkov?
Fedor Svechkov. Yeah, so that was their first selection this past year's NHL entry draft at 19th overall, and then LaRue was at 27.
I have a little bit of breaking news.
Ooh, some breaking news, don't you?
Kings Brendan Lemieux suspended 5 games for biting Brady Tkachuk.
Look at that, hey?
There you go, 5 games for Brendan Lemieux.
Interesting.
So we just talked about it, and there you go. Another one, the U.S. announced their full roster for the preliminary camp. Matthew Nyes, Leafs second-round pick, was on that roster, along with a lot of other good players, obviously. The U.S. is going to be solid.
You grabbed the one Leaf prospect out of the bunch. There's a lot of really
well, Kent Johnson,
give me your Babcock.
Matty Beniers.
Really other good players.
A lot of good players. A lot of good men. They're good young men, and they're going to be good young men at the end of this tournament. They're going to grow as men and grow as good players. Anyways, we should probably hit a break. The top of the order is brought to you by RBI Baseball. Thank you. And softball training in Regina. If you're looking for ways to improve your skills on and off the baseball diamond, RBI is the place for you. They have great instructors, great programs. Great programs? Hold on, that was a bad one. I kind of get lost it there. Great programs? Because he says programs. He's a program guy.
That's Nick Saban.
Located just east of Regina, RBI is Saskatchewan's premier baseball and softball training facility. So hit him up. Chris, our boy Tanner Ring, and
hit
crew,
him up so
Brandon
you can hit him
Rodmacher.
up on the baseball diamond.
Check out their Facebook website or Instagram and get to work.
It's almost
like
like
at
I'm gonna have
RBI,
a career in marketing or something.
Nah, at RBI they rise above the rest. Jordan, how are you feeling back there? Good. All right, we're gonna hit a break in a couple minutes. We'll be back with our good buddy Ryan Moir. See you in a second.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday hoop life.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
super pumped to get into this next conversation because we've met this guy virtually. It's for a few months now. We've been talking a little bit back and forth. Obviously, we had a great contest a while back, but joining us tonight from Cowtown in the midst of a very busy NHL week and season, and not only that, but he's launching a very cool sports collectibles company at the same time, and he just had a kid not that long ago. From Wood Jerseys, Ryan Moir joined us tonight. Look at that backdrop. Oh, I'm super jealous. Ryan, thanks for jumping in tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me. Nice to finally talk to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Felt like it's been just DMs forever.
Exactly.
No better way to break the ice than a full-fledged interview, right?
Yeah, you might as well chat face to face. So Ryan, hopefully you're doing well. I know you got a lot going on right now. We've been trying to get line up a Tuesday that worked for you. I know you've had a lot going on. Maybe tell us what's been going on the last couple months.
Seems like everything. Everything's been happening. We had a baby boy on the 29th, so right in the middle of the season. So I had some games in Edmonton and Calgary, and was just hoping, I'd be home for that. But it's been busy. Full up with hockey, working mostly with Sportsnet and TSN, covering a lot of Jets. That's mostly Flames and Oilers. So that's busy, and now we're just growing this new brand we launched not too long ago called Wood Jerseys. So it's everything's happening right now, as Bob Cole would say.
And we'll get into Bob Cole in a second. And you mentioned Wood Jerseys. We're going to talk about that a little later. But, Max and I are both fascinated by hockey broadcasting and sports broadcasting in general. So you have a really interesting journey in how you got involved and interested in it. Can you just talk about, maybe first off, how are you involved in sports broadcast? And for those who are watching our show right now, Ryan's basically helps us watch hockey on a nightly basis. So thank you, Ryan. But what's your role, and how did you get into it?
Yeah. So, basically, I mean, it's, I'm super blessed. And, at the end of the day, I get to watch hockey. That's kind of, my gig, but, no, I'm part of, the broadcast crew that's behind the scenes. So we're doing all the work to make sure that you guys at home are, getting the proper coverage that, you deserve of the game. So myself, I do all the stats and graphics and, coordinate all of that. So, during the day, it's, we're prepping and doing research and looking up different graphics for our announcers. And I work with an operator who actually types up and creates the graphics. I just make sure spelling's right, numbers are right, nothing goes to error that shouldn't. And then once it's game time, I'm right in the booth beside whoever's calling the game. If it's here in Calgary, usually it's Rick Ball or, Arna Ryan or, Chris Cuthbert, whoever it is. So I'm usually kind of right beside them, dishing them stats, getting in their ear, telling them little notes. And then I'm also kind of an eyes in the sky for the truck. So at every rink, every game is a truck that, it's basically a mobile TV studio. And I do my best to kind of keep them honest on what's going on because I can see the whole rink. I got a great view. And, it's hard to see everything when you're in a truck and you can only see what the camera see, right? So that's, in a nutshell, that's kind of what I do. So I get to watch hockey, basically.
I know our director, Jordan, in the back's ears just perked up because he's done a lot of work in mobile production trucks in the past. I've been in one or two in my day, working a rodeo or two. You said you worked some rodeos as well growing up. So that's super interesting. So you worked the last couple years in hockey. Obviously, the landscape has changed quite a bit, going from what it was, what we all knew and loved, to empty rinks, massive restrictions, and now it's kind of easing its way back. What has that transition back and forth been like for you?
It's been crazy. Like, the year when the league was shut down, I remember we were on the road. I think we were in California, and, we were right in the middle of a busy league, and we were traveling with the Jets. And that was when the NBA shut down, right? And that's kind of the big, oh, wow, like this is happening moment, right? So as soon as that happened, we got back to Canada and we knew what was coming, right? It was just going to be shut down for a bit. And then, we were just waiting. Like, it was tough. It was tough for our industry. A lot of people are freelancers and, they only get paid when they work. So it was, it impacted a lot of good people. So it was tough. And then, I was lucky enough to go into the bubble for the 2020 playoffs in Edmonton. So I was right there for it was over 70 days, right in the bubble. So I was actually working with NBC with that for that. And that was, I mean, that was a whole experience in itself. We can get into that more, but it was amazing. It was awful. It was everything you could think of at the same time. It was an experience. I hope to never have to do it again, but it was fun to be a part of it and see the cup get raised. I was one of maybe 30 people in the rink, or in the lower bowl anyways, when it happened. So that was fun. And then, just getting back to this season, I mean, it's having fans back is incredible. Like, it's just, you forget how loud rinks can really get, right? So, being in Rogers and McDavid and hearing the fans blow your eardrums out, like that's why we do it, right? That's the best part, being in that environment. And that's why I'm so lucky being in the rink and in the booth, and, you feel that energy on those goals and you're right there with the fans. So, I mean, it's great to have fans back. I hope it stays, and it's been good.
I was lucky enough to go to the Saddle Dome a few weeks ago, and I got to see the Flames versus the Rangers in the 6-0 game, and just to hear, that goal was nuts. But just to hear the crowd on Adam Fox as much as they were every time he touched the puck, and the booing, and I was like, this is why we like this stuff. I miss going, living in Saskatchewan. We're right in the middle of all the teams. Obviously, Winnipeg wasn't even around for most of my childhood, growing up anyway. So I haven't been to as many hockey games as I want to, but man, just seeing the atmosphere and getting to be involved in those types of things, it adds so much to the sport. And it's so much fun. Anyways, Max, you had a couple questions.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan. Again, the aforementioned big part of your role being alongside many of the voices that bring us the experience of an NHL hockey game on TV. And you've got the Hockey Night in Canada wood jersey right behind you. Potentially none more iconic than Bob Cole. I hear you've got a couple of great stories about some potential interaction with him in your role.
Oh, I mean, he's incredible. Like, I got to work with him at the tail end of his career. And and actually, just to kind of bring it back a bit, how I got into this is my old man's been in the industry forever. So he did stats, and he was Bob's right-hand man for 25 years plus. So he did every cup final with him. So I got to know Bob along the way pretty well. And then once I started working, it was and I did my first few games with him. It was amazing. And he had a sense for the game, like you just wouldn't believe. Like he knew something was going to happen, and he could build it up properly. And it was just it was incredible. And there's been so many different examples of that. And when I've been beside him, and you could hear the tempo in his voice, and he just knew something was going to happen or a shift in the game, and he would just nail the call. But so there's some funny ones, but there was one I'll never forget. We were in Montreal, intermission, and we're just kind of lounging around, killing some time. And they had the Zambonis going around. And then one of the mascots in the Zamboni, and this guy's got one of those T-shirt guns, and he's firing guns off into the crowd. And I just kind of had my eye on it and watching and noticing how far these ones are going. Sure enough, points up, this guy looks up at us, fires one. This T-shirt goes ripping through the press box, misses Bob's head by 2 inches. And it would have knocked him out. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And he kind of saw it and just went, huh. And just continued on like nothing happened. It was unbelievable. Didn't even faze him. But that was a funny one. And it's just getting to know his nuances and what he wanted at certain times. And me and him got into a pretty good rhythm where I was kind of always a step ahead, and I would know what he would want before he even knew. So, something we do, we have headsets on, and I can actually communicate to him just through his headset, but I got to be super quiet because he doesn't like being loud. So, certain points in periods, he likes shots in the period, right? Like he has his routine like anyone else. So, there's just little things like that. And I mean, he had incredible hearing. So he would be in the booth, he'd have his one side up, he'd be on the far side. And me and whoever the analyst, the color analyst, we would be kind of on the other side of the booth. And if I was louder than this, you would hear a stomp on the bench from the other side from Bob because it was too loud, which I have no idea how he could hear it, but he could hear it. So, you had to work around it, but he's just amazing. So, and actually even more incredible. So this is what he used to call a game. So let's see if you guys can see.
Oh yeah. So that's his little
So
scorecard.
that's
there,
his
hey?
card.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Wow.
That, and literally he would write this during warm-ups right before he would write numbers. That's all he needed, right, to call a game.
Wow.
So it was pretty incredible. And this is the last one. This was from his last Jets game he ever did. So this is gonna be hung up in the
Get that
in the
laminated.
history mantle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Icons are just built differently. They really are. My goodness. Well, I tell you what, Ryan, again, like it just doesn't stop there with the fascination of all the cool things that encapsulate your career, and a big one that's going to hopefully be really prevalent again soon is the NHL returning to the Winter Olympics. I understand you had a chance to go to Sochi in 2014, and now the potential return to Beijing. Obviously, a little one at home now, but I can imagine that you're pretty excited about the prospect of heading overseas to cover what will easily be one of the most iconic Olympics of all time.
Yeah, you know what? Sochi, it was actually my first Olympics I ever did, and it was such a blast. And I covered men's hockey too, which was amazing. I was right in the rink. You know, we had a wicked spot. We were like 10 rows up center ice. So we saw every game. I remember the shootout, right, with TJ Oshie. That was one that comes to mind. But yeah, it was a blast, and it was just nothing like the Olympics. Like it's so big. It's such a big scale, and so many eyes on it. It's what everyone wants to play for, right? That's what you grew up, dreaming, playing for the flag on your chest. So, you know what? I'm excited. It's definitely going to be a different experience. It's going to be more of a bubble situation. So, it's not like you're going to get out and travel around and see, Beijing and whatnot. But I think it's just more knowing that you were there covering that and bringing that coverage back to the fans here in Canada so they could watch it. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it'll be tough. We actually have 3 kids. So I've got 2 girls that are 8 and 2, and then we just had our little boy. So that's the tough part now is leaving those guys. So, but the wife, she's got everything on wraps here. So she's amazing.
Absolutely. The wives are always the unsung MVPs, right? The real MVPs are the ones, taking care of that stuff. Absolutely. I have a 9 and a 3-year-old myself, so I totally get both girls. I totally get the how the girls can take over a little bit too sometimes. But
we got the boy. You got the boy.
Yeah,
so.
You're slowly getting it balanced out. So let's talk wood jerseys now, because obviously this is such a cool story and it's such a cool company, and we love the product. I know we've told you this multiple times, but we love the product. So I see behind you there's actually one with a name and a number, so maybe we'll get into that soon too. But let's start at the beginning.
Teaser. Well, it's a little teaser, yeah.
Yeah, you're teasing me. Let's start at the beginning. Where did this idea come from, and I guess how did it get started? Because from where you started and where you are now, it's quite different. So how did you get it going?
You know what? I wish it was my idea. I wish I could take credit for the inception of this, but I can't. It's my partner, Christopher Palancha. I call him Tiff. So he's the mastermind guru behind it all. This guy's he's the McDavid of design and creativity. He's unbelievable. So funny story. So we actually started a gym here in Calgary, January 2020, which was like the worst time you could ever start a gym. So that didn't last too long, but our partner in that, his brother ended up being Tiff. So it was kind of full circle. And we reached out. He was designing some logos for us. And then I remember he was kind of getting behind. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been working on this thing. What do you think?" And it was actually the Flames one. And these are one of our old prototypes. And it was first one he ever did. And he said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I saw it and I was like, "Oh my God, I got to come see this." As a hockey guy and a hockey fan, I knew there was something different, something special to it. And so the story is pretty cool. His girlfriend ended up buying him a keychain for his keys, and it was just a little jersey keychain. And he looked at it and he was like, "Oh, that'd be cool if I could make that bigger and out of wood." So that was basically he had a little shop in his garage, and he's got the design and woodworking background, and he kind of just played around and made one. And someone ended up seeing it, and they were like, "Hey, can you make one for me?" And then that's, I think, when it clicked. And as soon as that started happening, and I think, he saw a few people reached out, that's when he reached out to us because he knew of my background with the NHL. And as soon as it happened pretty quick. So he came to us, and, within a few weeks, we reached out to the right people at the NHL. And basically we went through the rigorous procedures of getting licensing, which is a whole beast in itself. But we ended up pretty much, it was around January of last year. And, we got to the NHL and took about 5 months before we were fully licensed and given the green light. So been working away ever since.
So you started with the Canadian teams, and obviously working out of the early setup, it was harder to go pretty much anywhere beyond that. But now I'm seeing you're branching out. We got the Kraken behind you, got special jerseys like the HNIC jersey behind you, and now I'm seeing you got all the teams kind of started. At least you're getting close. Are you at all 32 teams now?
Okay, so here's kind of where we're at, and this is the process we knew when we were going to start. So the way we were making the first version of these was with CNC machines. Wasn't the most ideal way of doing it, especially when you're dealing with like high grade plywood. And by the way, I mean, we started this when like plywood was at like all time history peak. So we had a few things against us when we were starting this, but we believed in the idea so much, and everyone just seemed to love it. So we knew we had product fit pretty quick. But we knew the road, if we were going to do this right, we were going to have to upgrade our machinery, which is lasers. They're pretty intense machines. And that was kind of the route we knew we were going to go. We wanted to get a feel for it before, diving headfirst into this and investing in some rather large machines so we could do it properly. And so, yeah, we launched in April, did some playoffs. We had a few teams, Canadian teams. And then that's when we started working towards, okay, what's, the real step of this? Let's get some lasers. Let's get a new version. And I am blown away by the new version of what he's put together now. They're slick. Like they look so good. The detailing we can put into these now it's just off the charts. Like nothing's out of bounds now. We can do basically any design. So yeah, I'm super pumped. The unfortunate thing is we moved into a new shop in October, and we had to start from square one. Like he had to start designing all over again. So when we moved into that shop, he basically had a clean slate. Here's the laser machine, and he had to start all over. So he's been cranking out new designs and jerseys, and we're kind of fulfilling orders at the same time. So right now it's just a sprint to get to 32 teams, which is the goal, which we hope to accomplish here in the next month and a bit.
We already got a sale for you if you're making custom Columbus jerseys with the names on the back. We got Corson Kuhlman's cousin Chad. He's checking in. He says, "I need a Columbus one with Kuhlman's on the back." So we have a future sale for you right there. I'll exchange your info after the show. Max, you got anything?
Well, you know what, Ryan? Again, obviously with this endeavor that you're doing, I mean, it goes without saying, obviously, in hockey memorabilia, right? We see the Bob Cole lineup card, the Winnipeg Jets jersey behind you. Christmas is coming up. What was always your favorite kind of piece of memorabilia to ask for? And I guess maybe tying that into what you're doing now, could you ever imagine that this would be a part of your life in terms of an entrepreneur and kind of going down this road of having an officially licensed product with the NHL in your investment portfolio? It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, you know what? I think it goes all back to jerseys, actually. Like, I got a closet full of jerseys somewhere, right? Like, tons, I'm sure we all do, right? And it's funny, thinking full circle now what we're doing now. But it's definitely, the newest Canadian team or whatever it was. So, yeah, we got a huge collection of jerseys. Yeah, you know what? Like, this is just, it's something special with these. Like, and when people see them, they truly appreciate the detail and how unique they are. It's tough really, show them with pictures and videos and whatnot. But when you get it in someone's hands and they see it and they feel it and they can see the texture and the 3D elements of it, it's definitely a piece of art that, it's a conversation piece. You walk into a room, it's the first thing you're going to notice. So, we're excited to get these into more hands and fans, and we're super excited. We're going to be working with some NHL teams here pretty soon, and as we kind of ramp things up. And ideally, we want to be in every NHL store and retail and whatnot. So, we're getting there. We literally started this out of a one-car garage a few months ago, right? That was, just like all good things where they start come from garages. So we, we're scaling it right, but we want to do it right. We want to make sure we take the right steps, and what we're putting out there, people are really enjoying, and and they talk about it for a long time. Something they're going to have forever, right?
Absolutely.
Once the Preds come out, I'm customer number one.
Oh yeah,
that's
it's coming.
There you
and
go.
You know what? And long term for this, we're gonna have multiple options per team. Right now, we just want to get at least one version of each team, and then we're gonna have retro. We're gonna have home away.
Sign me up for an Anaheim Mighty Ducks one too. That white
the
Mighty
retro?
Ducks. Oh yeah.
Oh baby.
That's awesome, you guys.
Oh
Wow.
baby. We got a question here.
And then we're gonna get into. I mean, the player backs is a whole separate thing. So, we got to work with the NHLPA and get an agreement with them, which they're already on board. We're just, we're scaling up to get ready for that. So we're going to have a lot of really cool things coming out. Some collabs that are on the horizon we're working on. So, this is definitely going to be more of a limited edition kind of a piece, right? So, I'm super excited to see where it goes. And so far it's been fun. The best part's just, talking to fans and just, hearing the stories. Why, how did you become a fan? That's the best part. So
how did you become a fan? Who was your favorite player growing up, Ryan?
Oh, you know what?
Putting you on the spot, because maybe you don't want to play favorites.
It's all good. I grew up in Calgary. Yeah, growing up in Calgary, with Iggy here, I think that was something special. And the runs they went on and just watching how tough he played. I played defense, so but I think just seeing Iggy and being at the rink, I was lucky enough. I got to go to the press box all the time and hang out with my dad and watch games. I was kind of over his shoulder when he was working, and so that was always kind of fun. So Iggy's definitely up there. But you know what? Now it's just it's tough. You cover these teams. It's hard to really find a team to just stick with. I covered the Jets for probably 9 years. So the Jets are near and dear to my heart. We actually moved to Winnipeg for 5 years. So that was awesome. And it's just, I love hockey, love watching it, love the fans. So it's just everything. I can't complain about it.
Natural fit. Where can everybody find you? Because I know it's pretty easy. I think just Wood jerseys everywhere. What's the best way to get their hands on some of these things?
Yeah. So website's woodjerseys.com. We're pretty simple with the name, and it's stuck, and we pretty much own the SEO of it, which is awesome. For a while, Miles Wood, every time you googled Wood and Jersey, Miles Wood came up. It was driving me absolutely nuts. But we finally got that SEO, so it's going good. But we're on Instagram, Twitter, everything's Wood Jerseys handles. So we're gonna be pumping out some really cool content right now. It was so busy moving into a new shop and getting new designs out as quick as we could. And now with the Christmas rush, Black Friday was nuts. It was, I wish we would have had 32 teams available, but they're coming soon. And right now, my favorite thing is going to be kind of behind the scenes and bringing people along on our journey. I kind of want to share that and give people kind of the behind the scenes scoop on what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, we're just, we're normal guys. We're just fans, and we got something pretty cool, and I think we can really make something special of this. And big picture here, we're going all leagues and all different kinds of teams, NFL, CFL. So we're going to try cranking this up here in the next year or two. So it'll be fun.
Perfect. And that actually answers one of our questions. Chad Isaac was asking, are you ever maybe thinking of branching into junior hockey or NCAA hockey? You said CFL, NFL. Yeah. So this is just peeking over the horizon. Tip of the
iceberg. It's
fantastic. So everybody, if you have any more questions, you want to follow along, hit up all their channels, go to their website, bookmark it, put a little tab on your desktop. You can go click it every day and check.
The Ultimate Fan Cave Edition. It seriously
Absolutely.
is. I'm just scrolling through the website right now too. And
follow them on TikTok. We got to get you guys up on TikTok so you guys can do a bunch more stuff there. There you go. But Ryan, thanks so much for jumping in.
The beauty of this is if there's a logo, we can do it, right? That's kind of the idea. So I'm once we kind of get the big leagues and big teams out of the way, I'm excited to work with communities and different associations on, more kind of minor hockey levels where, we can incorporate some fundraising into it and kind of get back and find some really unique ways with that. But it's just where we're going to have to start hiring some more designers here pretty quick, but it'll be fun. So it's a good problem to have.
Well, Ryan, again, thank you very much for your time tonight. I just got one final one for you really to wrap it all up is when do you sleep?
It's a good question. It's on the plane usually.
That's perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
Usually on the plane.
I hear it's a long flight to
So, no,
Beijing, so all the best in the
apparently
upcoming.
it's 2 days. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
That'll catch you up
Time
pretty
changes
quick,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I mean, you guys, Clark, it's having 3 kids. It's basically, single mother taking care of 3 kids. That's like, you're not sleeping, right? So I'll never complain about being tired or working too hard or any of that. So
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, thanks so much. We're loving what you guys are doing over there. Keep crushing it, and we'll be following. And I hope a lot more of our viewers will also be following as well. And maybe we'll chat again in the new year.
yeah, this, I'm not sure what the rules are in Beijing, but I was going to say, if I'm in there, we should figure something out. I'll give you a little behind the scenes of what's going on there, but I don't know what the China rules are with that or not. We'll see.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I'll have my people talk to your people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they'll talk to their
and
people.
just
Exactly.
and one thing before, we're gonna fire up a special promo code for your listeners. So if you guys ever do go check out, there's a little spot for a promo code. Throw in SQUAD15. Okay, SQUAD15.
Let's go.
Give you $15 off. So we just ended our Black Sale Friday, so we don't want you guys to miss out on something good.
Thanks
Perfect.
a ton, Ryan.
We will
Greatly
pump that
appreciate it.
right now.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. We'll
Yeah,
chat
no
again
worries.
soon. Have a good night.
Okay, thanks, boys.
All
Take
right.
care,
Appreciate
Ryan.
it.
And that, of course, is Ryan Moir. Man, that was a fun chat.
All around fantastic dude, man.
Yes.
Guys, busy as all hell, gives us the time, a little promo code for the viewers of the show.
Promo code. Let's
Thank
get
you
that
very
going.
much,
Let me
Ryan.
put that
and,
in the comments
yeah,
right
man.
now.
Wow. And like just such a cool product.
Love
Right?
it.
Like
and like you said, the detail, the 3D, the texture
Oh
of it.
man, when people go through the website here or go through the Instagram, go through everything, like you said, until you get it in your hands, like that's when it really speaks volumes. But they're doing a really good job of encapsulating the image. Like this is, like you said, it's a conversation piece. Wherever it goes in your fan cave, this is exactly what you're going to need. And again, Christmas time's coming up, people. Christmas time's coming up, and I know they don't have all 32 yet, but chances are they got your squad in there.
They have a pretty good percentage, though, at this point, right?
Very good percentage.
So
Yeah,
go
there's
check
a
it
large
out.
amount. Go check it out right
and
now.
hey, even if your favorite team's on there, get another one.
Exactly. Squad 15.
Just,
No reason not to.
anyways, we should probably take a break, and when we come back, we haven't even touched MLB free agency, and frickin' Max Scherzer just like broke a record in MLB free agency.
Yeah, he's a little bit of
So-
a richer Max than I am, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's a less Mad Max than you,
That's right.
potentially,
Yeah.
until he gets back on the mound.
Until he gets back on the, yeah.
And then he's
exactly,
Mad Max
yeah.
again. But we'll come back in about 2 minutes. We'll get into MLB free agency and NFL picks for Week 13. See you soon.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday hoop life.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
What a commercial break.
What a commercial
I
break.
feel like the commercial break is better than the show.
We don't work as hard as Ryan does, but we try.
Got a nightcap here for us tonight from Original 16. Going with the peach hard seltzer. Are you still on probation?
Still on prohibition.
Prohibition?
Prohibition-bation.
Yeah, you're not probation.
Prohibition-bation.
Anyways,
Yeah, all that
cracking
stuff.
open the seltzer because we got a big segment coming up that I'm super excited about getting into. All the baseball talk. We're going to start with Blue Jays, of course, because it is the Bluebird block. So we'll start with that, but we are going to be talking about the rest of the Major League Baseball signings as well, and some that maybe even haven't happened yet as well, including some names like Chris Bryant, Freddie Freeman, Carlos Correa. Some of those guys are being rumored to have homes potentially. So we'll get into that as well. But let's start off with the Blue Jays, of course, making the big splash after a couple of swings and misses, but they did make a big splash with Kevin Gausman, a pitcher, a front-end pitcher who the Jays have been truly trying to get for a few off seasons now. I think, even dating back to when he was with the Orioles. He's been out of the Orioles organization now for a few years. He just had a glorious year with the San Francisco Giants. I think he did he get Cy Young votes? He was in Cy Young talks in the NL. So getting Kevin Gausman, 5 years, long-term commitment for 110. It's a big number, but there's a comparison there too with Robbie Ray going to Seattle. His number was 5 years, 115. So some of the comments I've seen are, well, why didn't they just bring Robbie Ray back? It's essentially the same amount of money. Washington doesn't have state tax. There's income tax differences there. So I think that played a little bit into the number that Robbie Ray actually signed for. He was probably asking for more like 125, I would think, from the Jays, if you're factoring in all of that. But they got Gausman, and Gausman is a guy who, if you don't know, my fingers are crossed that this works out as well as it should, because Kevin Gausman is coming off a stellar year with the San Francisco Giants. They are now looking at a squad, a rotation of Barrios, who signed for another 7 years after this year, so 8 more years. Gausman, who's here for 5 more years minimum. Alek Manoah, who's here for 5 more years minimum, 6 I think even. Ryu, who's here for a couple more years, and then that 5th spot is kind of the big question mark now for the Jays. Will they fill it with a guy who's already there, like Ross Stripling, our boy Ross? Will they do a younger guy like maybe Anthony Kay gets into the lineup, maybe Thomas Hatch maybe gets into the lineup in terms of that 5th starter? Or do they go out and get another vet, which I think Max, I know Max is busy, that's why I'm doing all the talking here. But
doing a great job.
I feel like I've been doing okay. But one of our,
You botched the intro, but that's okay. Keep going.
Did I? Did I botch it? What did
That's
I botch
fine.
it?
I wrote great notes, but it's fine.
Jays fans
Don't
were
worry
needing
about it.
some gauze to cover open wounds of losing Marcus Semien and Robbie Ray, and they literally got all the gauze, man. Sorry.
Just great writing.
I read
Absolutely
it.
wasted.
I read it
That's
now.
okay. That's fine. That's
But
fine.
the big question again, who fills that 5th spot? And it could be a younger guy. It could be a current vet who's, like I said, Ross Stripling. Or they go out and they get a vet like J.A. Happ could come in. There might be some other guys out there like that. But, Max, I don't know how much we talked about this a little bit. Losing Robbie Ray, left-handed arm. They only really, outside of Ryu, have Tim Meza as a left-handed arm. And we mentioned Anthony Kay, he's a lefty. But do they need more left-handed arms, either A, in the rotation, or B, in the bullpen? Is that something that you think is a priority? Left-handed arms.
First off, before I answer that last question, I'm not super biased, but I'm a little biased. I want to see Ross back in blue. I think that he had a really, really good... He had really good stretches, obviously. The first time we talked to him in the season, obviously things hadn't gotten off to the greatest start, but he really turned it around under the tutelage of Pete Walker and, again, the work that he put in. I'd love to see him back in that fifth spot in the rotation. It really solidifies things. And even still, he's a dual threat, right? He can come out of the bullpen and still provide some really good innings for you. So regardless of whatever role, I think Ross would be a great addition to have back on this team.
Can I interrupt you for a sec?
Please do.
Ross Stripling had an A+ tweet about an hour ago.
Nice.
Let me just see if I can find it because it is funny. A stat came out today about how the average fastball speed since 2002 has gone from 88.5 miles an hour to 95 miles per hour in 2020. It was 94.9 last season.
Was it?
And it used to be 88.5 in 2002. So Ross Stripling retweeted it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but he said, I'm just doing my part to get it back to 88.5. Because obviously Ross isn't a fireballer. He's told us that. That's not me making fun of him. He has said that on this show.
He's a funny baller, though, man.
A funny baller.
He tickles the funny bones, that's for sure.
Careful how you say that. You said funny baller, tickle the funny... Anyways. I was just worried.
Your mind
I was worried you were going to say the wrong B word.
Get your mind out of the gutter, good stuff.
But anyways, Ross Stripling, I would love him. And again, the other thing, too, with Ross, we talk about Nate Pearson as a potential fifth option. I have been on the record lots of times saying I love him as a reliever. If he goes back into the starting role, I'm not going to be mad. But how cool would it be? Maybe you see every couple of starts, you see Stripling out there for a couple of, maybe 3 innings, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And then you see Nate Pearson go out there and fireball it for 3 innings, maybe, so to speak, or 3 or 4, maybe, if he's doing really well. And they almost split a start. Because I know that there is a bit of a mentality around Major League Baseball where there's certain teams out there that are experimenting with a reliever starting a game, and then you put in a longer reliever after that. So what if Ross went 3 innings, and then Nate Pearson went out there and fireballed it for 3 innings? Very different pitching styles. Ross is, 6'2", 6'3". Nate Pearson's bigger, he's taller, much different, speed, velocity, everything. Maybe that's a bit of an experiment they can work on a few times here and there. And Ross did have a few shorter starts that were like purposeful shorter starts. They were only 3 or 4 innings or something like that some days. So he's not necessarily a starting pitcher that's going to go out and throw 8 innings every time. So
he had a couple outings though.
He did have a couple.
7.
He did have a couple gems, and that's why I would
There's
love.
There's a plethora of options though.
That's why I love Ross back.
That's where we're sitting right now.
Exactly. So let's just look. If we go out and look now, if I can just quickly try to do this, at starting pitchers that might be available still. And I'm thinking about maybe bringing in an older guy. Rich Hill is about 40, almost 42 years old. He's a lefty. He's a free agent at the moment. J.A. Happ is out there. Zach Greinke. I don't know if Zach Greinke is going to be an option for the Jays specifically. Cole Hamels is a name. He's a lefty. Obviously, he's been around the block a few times. John Lester, I don't think so. But there's Matt Shoemaker's out there. Remember Matt Shoemaker?
Matty Shoemaker, yep.
Could bring him back. But there is, more than enough names out there that are potentially available this offseason that if they really feel the need. Matt Moore, Drew Smiley. There's a couple solid names out there if they go out and maybe open up the purse strings a little bit, maybe in between. I don't remember when J.A. Happ signed with the Jays and it was a $12 million contract. Maybe it's $10 to $13-ish million a year for a vet. But if he comes in and just gives us a reliable 4th or 5th starter, I think the Jays would have to be more than happy with that. If there are any other Jays questions that you guys have, please send them in. We'd love to chat about that. I see Craig Ballard is checking in on YouTube. Sorry, Craig. I think I might have neglected a couple comments of yours. The lockout begins tomorrow at midnight. Gausman finished 6th in NL Cy Young voting. Thank you, Craig, coming in for the save on that one. The Jays offered Ray the same deal in addition to adding Gausman. Ray told the Jays he wanted to see what Anaheim would offer, and next thing Jays heard was Ray actually signed with Seattle. So thank you, Craig, also again for the save on that one. I've never seen someone spend so long on sending an Instagram story as my friend Max Ritz over here.
It's because I'm sending 4, Clark.
If
you're gonna do it
A+ effort.
do it.
Yeah. You don't have Mount Pleasant standards.
No, I
here.
don't. I put links and stuff.
Oh, he's putting links. See, he's doing the right thing. Doing it right before your eyes. Which company is that? No sponsor, but is that Lowe's? Jordan, who's doing it right before your eyes?
Home Depot.
Home Depot?
One of the two.
It's one of those. It's a home improvement company, I'm
Yeah, who
sure.
cares?
Craig Ballard says he likes the idea of Ryan Barucki. Now, Craig, are you saying
I do like the idea of Ryan Barucki.
as a starter? Because I think he's transitioned almost at this point in his
If
career.
we're talking lefties, though, out of the pen, right? It's
out of the pen,
Tim Mesa and Ryan Barucki.
sure. But I don't know if he was talking about. I don't know when he put that.
Remember
comment
the
in.
time when
Craig
Ryan-
also said Clayton Kershaw. I mean,
wouldn't hurt our feelings none. But I don't, man.
is he going to sign a $5 million contract? I don't know.
Oh, man, and that's the thing, right? Is so Clayton Kershaw obviously had a bit of an injury-riddled campaign last year.
Yeah.
The dude's still going to net a hefty contract. Justin Verlander just signed a $50 million ticket, and he missed the entire season. So, I mean, Clayton Kershaw, I don't see anything but a Dodgers reunion there, especially losing out on Max Scherzer. I think
unless he wants to come and play with his buddy Ross in Toronto, maybe Ross Stripling
his best friend Matt Stafford's in LA with him. I think he's sticking around in LA, to be quite honest. Maybe he goes cross town to the Los Angeles
Angels
of Anaheim. I don't know. They're loading up. Right there in
Syndergaard. They got Syndergaard. They apparently are on the verge of signing Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
That's what our next topic is going to be.
Things are happening.
But let's get into what has happened in free agency, and then we'll get into what might happen. Max Scherzer. The New York Mets are opening up the wallet for Max Scherzer, signing a brand new record for highest paid pitcher of all time, Max. Not only this year in a single season, I think it's the highest paid pitcher in a single season, $43 million, but also his career. He's the highest paid pitcher in his career of all time with this deal, signing this deal. So the Mets, $43 million a year for 3 seasons. Scherzer's, I think, 37 now. Okay, got it. And not only did they do that, but they went out and made a couple other additions as well, signing Sterling Marte, right? Starling Marte?
Yep.
What did I say? Sterling? Sterling Silver. Sorry, it's been
Come on, man.
I've been on 2 shows today, Max. Give me a break. But let me pull up the thing so that you can't make fun of me anymore.
Well, I mean, typically people do their research before the show.
I got one letter wrong in his first name.
Well, anyways, I don't know. Steven Matz, though, obviously spurning Steve Cohen and the New York Mets made him go a little friggin' nuts. So $140 million for 3 years for Max Scherzer. I mean, if you're looking across Major League Baseball, there's no guy you'd probably better to invest in. But at 37 years old, man, he's going to have to carry this production till he's 40.
They also got Mark Canha.
Mark Canha from the Oakland Athletics.
Third baseman. Oh, no, outfielder. Thought he was a third baseman.
Matt Chapman is the third baseman. Yes, good try though. Good effort.
My bad.
Anyways,
Long day.
Yeah, an interesting note about that. If you read my notes,
I didn't.
Max Scherzer stands to make more than the entire Baltimore Orioles roster in 2022. Should they not make any other signings?
I also read something that he's making $30.8 million more than Connor McDavid.
A year. What's the brain and the handshake?
We're meshing.
Yeah, because I was just about to get to that. So when you look at these baseball salaries, and I know we talked hockey all first segment, but isn't that crazy? So Max Scherzer, who is arguably the best pitcher in baseball, but it's arguably. Connor McDavid is
at the very least. Max Scherzer is top 5.
At the very least. But Connor McDavid is not arguably the best player that hockey has ever seen, and it's just no, don't do that.
You said ever seen.
Yeah, ever seen.
He's getting there.
I'm throwing out the eras. I'm throwing out all that stuff.
Got it.
Come on, he's the best. Wayne Gretzky himself says Connor McDavid is the best player he's ever seen.
Approved.
Anyways, my entire point behind that is I get that baseball and hockey are 2 vastly different worlds, but the fact that Connor McDavid makes 1/3 of the money, not even 1/3 of the money that Max Scherzer makes, is absolutely insane to me. It's crazy.
And Carlo Koliakovo agrees. He tweeted out today, NHL makes it, or what was it? It looks like the NHL players are making chump change compared to just Max Scherzer's
And
deal
I mean, we all
alone.
saw Connor McDavid's house last week. He's doing okay, but still, imagine the house that Max
He didn't have a
Scherzer has.
power cord for his computer.
That's
the poor
true,
guy
yeah,
needs to
that's-
go out and buy a
that's right.
power cord. He can't even afford a power cord for
It's
his
tough
computer.
sledding out in Edmonton right now. That's what it
The
is.
Texas Rangers also making waves, if you might want to call it that. Getting a couple of infielders, Corey Seager and our boy Marcus Semien from
He's
the
not
Jays.
our boy anymore.
He was our boy.
Our former boy. It's sad.
Oh, Rona is doing it right. Now, but it's doing it right, I swear, there's a before your eyes.
I feel
Is
like
that
it's
Rona
a
too?
burger or
Maybe they just
something.
eliminated that part and they just went simple, doing it right.
I don't know.
I don't know. Rona, though. Shout out Rona. Not a sponsor.
I don't know. yeah.
Rangers, now here we go. I'm
Future sponsor of the Regina SquadCast.
Yeah, you think so?
Or the Saskatchewan SquadCast.
I hope so. Here's the thing.
Like
I'm
future
gonna read
Toronto
your
Maple Leaf.
I'm gonna read your script here.
Oh,
just 'cause I
about
know
time. You get
like
to the
it.
last note of the night and you decide
The Rangers
to, right?
break open the war chest and committed $500 million to their new middle infielder tandem of Marcus Semien and Corey Seager, earning $175 million over 7 years and $325 million over 10 years, respectively. In addition, picking up front-end rotation arm John Gray for a cool $56 million over 4
You
years.
had no idea they signed John Gray, did you?
No, I did. I saw that. I did. I did. I swear. Also, Javi Baez joining the Detroit Tigers. 4 years, 130? 6 years, 140. That was what it was. There's a lot of numbers
I
flying
forgot
around.
the last part of the note there.
Not the Jays.
Yeah.
Not the Jays.
Yeah, not
Javi
the
Baez.
The brother-in-law connection
brother-in-law
apparently did
connection
not
with
have as much weight
Jose
as everybody
Barrios.
seemed to have thought.
You know, it's funny. Right before he signed the deal, I was going to send you a video from 2019 of Javi Baez catching for Jose Barrios in Puerto Rico.
I saw that one, yeah.
And I was going to send it to you, and then I'm like, I won't. And then, like, that night was the report that he signed with the Tigers. So, but the Rangers, I saw you sent, I think, the funny meme that they went.
Chris
They
Woodward,
are
yeah.
60-win team last year.
60 and 102.
And they're super excited to see their fans. What was it, like 78 wins or
It's
something?
like, or what was it? If you can't love us at 60 and 102, we don't need you when we go 75 and 87.
Right. Super perfect. The Rangers and the Mariners are in an interesting position because the Rangers were downright bad last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Mariners got a real magical run, but at the same time, I think they're going to lose a bit too in Seattle, and I don't think that Robbie Ray is going to necessarily, put them over the top. However, I shouldn't say that because I'll say that, and then they're going to win the NL.
That's exactly
the AL
it.
West.
Don't do that, right?
I won't do that.
They're
so I'm not
they're in
going
a bit
to.
of an
But the
arms race,
Rangers, though, they are a team, the Rangers, historically, that has went out and played hundreds of millions of dollars. Alex Rodriguez, Prince Fielder, I think of back in the day, Vladimir
Hamilton.
Guerrero, Josh Hamilton, a lot of these guys they've paid some big money
When
for
was
in the
Vlad
past.
ever a Texas Ranger?
He signed with the Texas Rangers near the end, I think. I think he was there for a little bit with Pudge. I think he was there. Please don't tell me I'm
With
wrong
the
on
Montreal Expos, but...
No, I think he played with the Rangers for a minute.
Oh, he played one season
Yeah.
with the Rangers.
Yeah, and I think they paid
Actually,
him.
it was a pretty good season, too.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
29 home runs, 115 ribbies.
And wasn't he
All
there
right, all
with
right, producer
Juan
Clark.
Gonzalez?
I don't know who else was on the team. I just
Check the
He
team.
finished his career in Baltimore.
Yeah. Well,
I'm pulling
telling
up
you,
Baseball
man.
Reference. They don't give you the entire
what I'm trying to say is the Rangers haven't been shy to blow some money.
Oh, absolutely. And they got a brand
this
new
is a
fancy
lot.
ballpark,
$500
too,
million between two guys.
That's not even a third of what their ballpark costs. That's what is it,
Well,
Globe
true.
Life Park?
Yeah,
that thing
the
is
new
a
one.
cathedral, man.
Oh my
That thing
God,
is
we got to go
absolutely
at some
insane.
point.
Yeah.
I know a guy down there too. My buddy Chris from TikTok. Shout out Chris. We should probably go down there. Road trip. Craig, you in? Who else is watching? At this point of the night. Some of the names, now I want to get into this just before we get into our NFL picks, and then we're going to get out of here so Jordan can go home. Some of the names that I am still looking at in terms of, names flying around the rumor mill right now.
Javi Baez signed. He's not coming to Toronto.
Not Javi Baez. Top of the list, Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is part Canadian. So there is obviously the instant connection that he's going to sign with the Jays. This isn't from me. A lot of people are saying this. He's a 32-year-old first baseman. His parents were born in Canada. He was not. But he has played for Team Canada in the past. Shout out Tim Leeper, coach of Team Canada baseball. And Freddie Freeman's a guy who just won a World Series. So maybe he wants to, etch his legacy in a different market.
Etch a sketch.
Etch a sketch. And, maybe he's a vehement believer that he wants to be back in Canada. Shout out Myron. I said vehement. But there's a thought process out there that maybe he could come to Toronto in tandem with Vladimir Guerrero at first base or DH. Maybe Vladdy's super insistent that he wants to go back to third base. Now, that would fill a hole that the Jays really need. And imagine that lineup with Freddie Freeman and Vladdy Guerrero in it and a DH. But I just don't think that Freddie Freeman feels to me like the type of guy the Jays would go after at this point. What do you think? You're giving me a weird look. You don't like it?
No.
No. Good answer.
It's not happening.
Why not?
I don't know. We filled a nice little couple minutes of airtime.
Left-handed bat. We need a left-handed bat in Toronto.
Re-sign Corey Dickerson and trade a couple of guys for J-Ram, whatever it is.
J-Ram. Jose Ramirez, for those who don't know the reference.
Freddie Freeman is not coming to the Toronto Blue Jays, and I will eat my sock if he does. Happily.
I think we're
I
clipping
will say
this.
happily.
Clip it.
But I mean, I know that it's soon December and Christmas miracles are, kind of floating about in the air as everybody pours their hot chocolate and puts their Santa cookies out and milk and all that stuff. Freddie Freeman is not coming to Toronto. Mm-hmm. As much as we would all love him to. He's a great first baseman.
Great dude.
Great dude. Great guy. Like you said, partial Canadian, so why wouldn't he?
Awesome fella.
These rumors that get manufactured sometimes. I used to be an idealist when it came to free agencies, and the Jays are going to go get everybody. No, they're not. They're going to make calculated.
In on everybody. Another name that they're in on is Chris Bryant, apparently. Chris Bryant, third baseman. Now, drafted by the Jays originally.
Yes.
Obviously
spurned them. Jimmy V
spurned
them.
Went to the Cubs the next year instead. Won a World Series. Not a big deal for him. But he is a third baseman. Again, third baseman's kind of the need. The perceived.
I'm with Craig. He's
need.
done the sell job on me. It's J-Ram or you go back to Santiago Espinal because he filled in admirably. And with even more at-bats, I think you could see Santiago Espinal be a guy that's 7 or 8 in the lineup, an inexpensive option for when the Jays inevitably, as we talked about off air, everybody's kind of in this mode with the Jays that, all right, we're going to go out and spend Texas-sized dollars and get every free agent on the market and this and that. No, that's not how Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro have built this team. And they also got some comp picks for the guys that they lost. By the way, that's lost in all of this.
Semien
2
and
comp
Ray.
picks, and
First
you know
rounders.
What? And we all saw how quickly they got, I don't want to say got rid of, but dealt Austin Martin to get a Jose Barrios type guy. What if they hit on a couple of these picks in this upcoming draft and these comp picks at the back end of the first round?
Am I mistaken that you are able to trade a compensatory pick?
That I'm not sure of.
Because you're not allowed to trade a normal
Who knows?
draft
We're getting a new CBA. We'll see what happens. Everything's on the table.
Bryant in Toronto would make Rockstar happy, says Craig. But Craig's the biggest don't bring Chris Bryant to Toronto person. He's starting the campaign. He has a GoFundMe going. But yes, Rockstar, big Chicago Cubs fans, they wouldn't hate it, I don't think.
But everybody's looking at Texas right now and saying, oh my gosh, they spent $500 million to get Marcus Semien and Corey Seager at 31 and 27 years old.
Yeah.
Guess what, people? Jordan, bring the camera in on me. Bring it here.
Hey, shut up.
Can we zoom? Shut up. Listen for a second. Sid Sixero, shout out, my guy. The Jays are going to have to spend the exact same amount, if not more, on Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and they're going to have to do it soon before that number turns into
really coming
$6,
in on you there.
$7, $800 million.
I'm getting scary.
$1 billion. What's the thing? The mini me?
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Jordan's never seen Austin Powers, so he has no idea what you're talking about.
Well, either way, I'm just saying that when it comes to the Toronto Blue Jays, they're making these moves with thinking not just for this season. What have Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins said all along? Sustainable winning. They're not going to do it by going out and spending $180 million on Freddie Freeman.
Do you want to play
as
rapid
cool
fire?
As it would be.
I agree with you, by the way.
But
Do you want to play rapid fire?
Always.
Carlos Correa.
No,
not for the Jays. Where's he going to go? For the Jays. That's an easy game. That's an easy game. I'm just going to keep saying names. You're just going to say no.
There. Okay, so we're going to go. Where's he going to go? Yeah, this is fun. Okay.
Give me
Miami with Derek Jeter.
names.
Just kidding.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think so.
No, you know what?
For reference,
I like
Correa bashed Derek Jeter's career, just for reference.
I like the fit in Los Angeles. I think
LA
Langels. The LA Langels. The Langels of Anaheim. I like the fit there. I think that's great, and it fits Art Moreno, their billionaire owner. Fits exactly what he's trying to do. If he's not going to win with Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Noah Syndergaard, and potentially Carlos Correa, he's never going to win.
And let's put Albert Pujols. Respect the name.
Exactly.
Let's go with Marcus Stroman.
Ooh, Marcus Stroman.
And maybe you don't have to say like a team, but like
the Yankees. I do believe the Yankees.
Really?
He'll go home to the Bronx. Yeah, he'll flip sides. He'll flip from Queens to the Bronx.
I don't know, man.
I think that's just like a high profile Marcus Stroman type of move.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like the Yankees have been quietly waiting in the weeds for this big wave to kind of crash forward. They don't need a ton.
I saw a picture, a Photoshop of him in an Angels uniform too.
Well, that could happen as well. Art Moreno, his resources are literally unlimited. But they're the Toronto Maple Leafs of baseball, though. They really are.
Sorry. Craig Ballard just says, imagine a locker room led by Vladimir Jr. and Jose Ramirez. Epic. I agree, Craig.
Would be great.
We're daydreaming now. Myron's still here. He also says A+ troll in there, Max. I'm not sure which troll he was talking about, but you have lots of good ones.
I do. Thank you, Myron. Greatly appreciate it.
I'll
Jordan,
give you
that Zoom work, by the way.
That was pretty solid. Let's do a couple more here, and then
why
we'll
he
wrap
gets
it up
paid
with
the
our
medium
NFL
bucks.
picks. Trevor Story, shortstop for the Rockies. Now, I heard a report they want to bring him back, and I also heard a report that they might want to bring in Chris Bryant. So they're trying to reunite.
Do you not think the Trevor
Nolan
Story
Arenado
relationship in Colorado, that's too fractured? Like,
it seems like it.
I don't think it's happening.
I think his biggest thing is that they never put an effort into winning. If they go out and bring in another big guy,
I
maybe
see
he
a
is.
random team like the Kansas City Royals going out and making a splash and getting a Trevor Story type guy at shortstop. I don't know. They got Whit Merrifield at second base.
Yep.
I don't know. I could see a team like that. Patrick Mahomes, minor ownership. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
I don't know. I see like some random team forking out the bucks to get him.
I'm just trying to see if Craig's chiming in on any of these guys. Craig,
Clip that if I'm right, by the way.
Send me your picks.
Oh, yeah. Wait, that's me. I got to do
Last one. Let's get one more in here. Let's see. There's a few
Chris
names
Taylor,
to go with.
Toronto Blue Jays.
Chris Taylor, Blue Jays. That's your boy.
I look at it. If they're not going to explore it on the trade market, I think that, you know what, Chris Taylor would be a very serviceable piece. That versatile, a guy that you know what he's going to give you. It's not going to be a super splashy acquisition. Now, based on the dollars that are being handed out, I worry that you might have to overpay for him, especially after losing the production that you have at second base with Marcus Semien jettisoning. Another big
Nice word.
Yeah,
I'm vehemently impressed with that word.
Thank you very much.
You're
I
welcome.
boldly predicted that. I wanted to say vehement there, but you already used it. No,
I'm sorry, buddy.
I boldly projected that. I can't. I'm struggling for big words. It's late.
Let's move on.
Chris Taylor, Toronto Blue Jay. Hey.
Got it. Last one, Nick Castellanos.
A deep fly. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
We're not gonna.
Oh no.
For the memes.
Tom Brenneman.
For the memes.
Yeah.
No. Nick Castellanos.
Mariners.
Does a reunion in Detroit make sense?
Yeah, if they're going to get Javi Baez.
If they're going to get Javi Baez,
maybe they go for it. And they got fucking... Frickin'. They got frickin' Eduardo Rodriguez, didn't they?
Kid show, Clark. Kid show.
Beep. It's the after hour with Original 16.
Hour. Did you say
they got Eduardo Rodriguez, didn't
exactly,
they?
Yeah. Like the
so
Tigers
maybe they're
are loading up. And I mean, that's a team that's been doing it right the last few years.
The Central is weak. So if they want to add a few guys, maybe they can get a if they can get a few guys, they can really make a push for that division pennant.
I don't mind that as a potential reunion. Remind me how messy it was with Nick Castellanos leaving Detroit. I don't think it was that bad.
Robin Wildy's commenting in. He's reffing a game tonight. He says Kyle Seager at third base. I don't think it's going to happen. The guy's 35, 36 now. He has a very established career, and to me, go sign with your brother in Texas. Like, why wouldn't you? Go play with your brother in Texas. I don't know. I don't think it doesn't seem like the Jays are really the right move for him at this point in his career. No. I could see some other journeymen, and Kyle Seager's not a journeyman, but I could see some other guys who have been around the league a little bit taking a chance on Toronto as a vet, but Kyle Seager doesn't seem to me like the guy who would. He's a career Mariner.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to go back to Seattle, but I feel like he'll have his pick of the litter. There'll be a few teams that offer him a contract. He'll stay down south. I don't think he's going to come up to the Jays at this point.
No.
Oh boy, everyone's.
Does he have a distant cousin that once lived in Etobicoke though?
Probably.
Maybe he
Everybody
will come
has. Then. Yeah, maybe. All right, let's get to our NFL picks. Unless you have anything else you want to add.
No, I think I don't know. That was a nuts week of baseball news, though. I think maybe obviously hockey is prevalent most in this area of the world right now. Again, even November, it's the dog days of the NHL season.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, was it an exciting week for baseball news. Like, this was crazy. Max Scherzer being handed that contract, I think Steve Cohen lost his mind.
The other thing we didn't talk about at all is the fact that there might not be a league next year.
That too. We don't want to talk about that, though.
We did talk about it last week. We did last week. One thing I will say is that there was a report that came out today. The MLB Players Association and the league itself had a meeting wherever they're doing their meetings. Do you know where? Doesn't matter.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah.
That's where they're doing
and it lasted 30 minutes, and they all walked out. So that's not a good sign.
They walked in, and they walked out.
Yeah, it was the Grandpa Abe Simpson meme.
I think there's a couple of Office episodes longer than 30 minutes. That's not
probably
good. Maybe they watched an episode.
There was I can't remember who it was. Nick Alberga, maybe. It's like, oh, so they got a deal done that quick?
Well, of course he did.
I think it was Alberga. Classic Nick. We should chat with him soon again, too.
Yes, we should.
Do you want to do NFL Week 13 picks?
Yeah,
I know
let's
we
get 'em
haven't
out of
been
the way
doing
here.
good. And
It carries over.
The graphics department took another bye week.
Oh, yeah.
last
Graphics
week.
department took another bye week.
But maybe we'll try again. We'll try again.
Graphics department took a bye on Hulk, too. I don't know what to say, man.
It's fair.
It's just, it's bye week city. It's cold. It's November.
Well, that's true.
It's
Hulk
like-
Hogan's
it's like
having
Matt-
a tough time getting
It's like
that
Matt
shirt.
Stafford just banged up in the
He
graphics
ripped-
department.
Hulk ripped the shirt that we gave him, and then, so we had to go with
so
his
we had to
old
re-put
shirt.
it back in the mail.
Yeah,
we
we have to
didn't,
send him
we didn't
another
spring
one.
for the expedited shipping this time.
Not
did we?
this time. Let's do the battle game. Who are you going to pick? Now, we tied. So who was the worst record last week? The week before?
That would be I beat
You?
Yeah, so
I get the pick.
you're picking. Yeah, exactly. You get the first.
Okay. Do you want to do Bills Patriots Monday night?
Yeah, I don't hate that actually. That's really the Patriots are coming on strong here. That's a toss up for me, honestly.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
do Bills Patriots. We'll pick that at the end. My first pick is I'm taking your boys, Rams, Jaguars. Taking the Rams. First
Perfect,
pick of
because
the
every
night.
time I do, they lose.
I know. So every time I do, they
I'll
win.
be happy if you go 1-0 on that pick. I'll be so happy.
I hope so too.
I will be beyond happy. Cardinals over Bears.
Cardinals over Bears.
I hear Kyler Murray's possibly coming back this week.
Oh yeah, that could be
He
a thing.
posted a Thanos meme that was
what that
wildly
was.
out of context.
I wasn't
If
really
you've
paying
seen
attention.
Avengers Infinity War, it doesn't really mean what Kyler thinks it means, I don't think. If that's what he was suggesting,
I don't
is
think
that he
the
was
word
coming
thing
back.
knows or means what you think it means.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good player.
Totally.
Not a guy.
Good player. I'm going to go with, you know, a team that's been actually doing okay for me when I start picking them is the Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts over the Texans.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick.
They're on a bit of a heater. Not that they've won a ton. They've won pretty nicely over the last, I'm going to say, 6 weeks.
Won handily, as they might say.
Yeah, so I'm going to say the Colts will take the Texans this
Well, they
week.
were in a barn burner with the old Buccaneers that they just lost.
I know.
They didn't win. But,
Last week I had some real issues.
Speaking of the Buccaneers,
You're gonna- oh,
I
boy.
see that there is a potential victory on the schedule against the Atlanta Falcons. The 5-win Atlanta Falcons. How do you feel about that?
The Atlanta Falcons take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Tampa Bay Tom Brady's.
I heard that President Biden will be there with, I don't know his wife's name. That's
Is this a
Simpsons
TikTok
quote.
trend? I don't know
Simpsons
what you do.
quote.
Oh,
Simpsons quote. There's an episode of The Simpsons back in like the 90s, 98 or something like that, where they filmed the episode, the whole episode, they filmed it in like November. And obviously the Super Bowl is not until...
Did you say they filmed an episode of The Simpsons? You mean they
They
animated it?
Whatever. They recorded all of the voiceovers.
Gotcha.
And then, so they recorded it in like November or something, and they didn't want to re-record the whole
The
episode.
Simpsons was live action.
Well, whatever, man. So, anyways, they animated the show to because they didn't know who was going to play in the Super Bowl, but they
Right.
wanted to do a Super Bowl episode. And also at the same time, there was a presidential election going on, and it was Clinton Gore, I think, or somewhere Clinton Bush maybe. And they wanted to make sure that they had the topical information, so they animated it with mugs in front of the guys' faces, so that when they went and redid the voiceovers, they could just add it in later. So the episode is, oh man, I have been a fan of the Atlanta Falcons for my whole life. I can't believe they're in the Super Bowl. And then
That's wildly funny, actually.
Homer says, oh man, but don't count out my Denver Broncos. It's hilarious. It's one of my
That's very
favorite
funny.
episodes
That's
ever.
good.
Anyways, my pick?
Send me the link. YouTube.
I will.
Yeah.
We'll talk. We'll watch it after.
My people contact your people.
I'm going to go, you know what? Oof, there's a couple games I kind of want to pick. I'm going to take the Ravens over the Steelers. The Steelers just seem like they're kind of up and down recently. I can't get a good read on
Perry
them.
Team this week.
Yeah, they're my Katy Perry team this week.
That's your de facto.
Yeah, they're up and down.
You know what? I don't know. They're up and they're down this week.
Yeah.
We're going to make a montage every week that you've made an NFL.
The Steelers are this week.
They're kind of up and down.
This week's Katy Perry pick of the week.
Exactly.
Take the Ravens over the Steelers because I can't get a good read on the Steelers. Anyways, I'm going with the Ravens.
Lamar threw all of his picks on Sunday night.
That's true. He got them all out of the way. He Cody Fajardo'd it, you might say.
There you go.
Sorry, Cody. Cody actually made a meme of that. He retweeted a picture of the Lamar Jackson 4 interceptions, and he said there must have been something in the air on Sunday.
That's awesome. I'm sure that got a lot of traction.
Yeah, it was good.
That's good stuff.
Anyways, you're up.
Where do I want to go? You know what? Oh, man.
There's a couple decent ones, but it's also we're getting down to it.
Rod Paterson's newly found Miami Dolphins. They're on a bit of a heater lately.
The red hot Miami Dolphins.
But I'm not picking them. I'm going to go Niners over Seahawks. I just wanted to say that.
Just wanted to say that? Just want to put out there in the
49ers.
Okay.
It's been brought to my attention that they're good again, so.
I'm glad you took that one. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Chiefs over the Broncos.
That's another team that has seemingly found their way again.
They found something in the water.
I'm hoping
in
the Rams
City.
drink some of the magic stuff that
it's at Arrowhead too. So I think that's an advantage.
It's a good pick.
What is that left? You have one more, or do we each have
one left?
And then we got the battle game.
Yeah.
I guess I could look at the script.
You know what? I will take the Dolphins. I will take the Miami Dolphins.
Giants are garbage.
Yeah, they won last week though. Who'd they beat?
Not a good team. I don't think it was a good
team. No, actually, who'd they beat last week?
Let me just look at the schedule.
Oh, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Take it or
Darnell.
leave it. Battle game. The Bills came off a nice win last week. The Patriots, I think, also won last week.
Handily over the ravaged Tennessee Titans.
The Titans.
Ravaged.
Who have a bye week this week by the looks of it.
Yeah, they need it.
They need it, yeah. This is a tough one because both teams, like I said, the Bills have had a couple of rough ones, but they kind of bounced back.
So in other words, they're up and they're down?
They're up and they're down, but right now they're up. You see what I'm saying?
They're no?
Yeah.
They're in, then they're out. We've already made that joke. We can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't go back to that well.
So they were the Thursday night this week against the Saints, and they stomped them. I think that I feel comfortable enough saying that they might be in a better place. I'm going to go with the Bills on this one on the Monday nighter over the streaking Patriots.
I'm okay with that, actually, man.
It's going to be a good game.
Mac Jones is the real deal.
Yeah.
That might be like our closest battle game of the year where I'm very excited to actually sit down and watch
it's getting to that time of year in Buffalo. Weather might be a factor.
Yeah.
And I just think that I guess the Patriots play in the exact same weather.
That's the thing, right? I mean, good geography there, Producer Clark.
Mac Jones is coming from Alabama, and he hasn't played in this type of weather yet on a consistent basis. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Oh, he hasn't, hey?
He played in Alabama.
He's also played 12 weeks in the NFL.
Yeah, but it hasn't been at this point in the year yet where it's cold.
Oh, okay. It's not cold, hey?
Oh, it's in Buffalo now. You never know.
Yeah, all right.
Anyways,
what if it's warm? What if
do you
it's
think?
5 above? Are you going to regret your pick?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm good. I'm in. I'm all in on the Bills.
All in on the Bills. Okay,
All
let's
right.
wrap this puppy up.
That's it. 8:45. Who had the under? I don't know what the over/under was, but
who knows?
I think it was 8:47.
We always hit the over.
It was 8:47.
You can always guarantee that we'll hit the over somehow, some way.
Alan Lee says, "What do you guys win for squad picks? Popeyes or Tim Biebs?" Alan clearly saw my video today that I made on the old TikTok. I did the preview. I got the Tim Biebs
You never
today.
paid me out anything, and I've dominated this league.
Yeah, Max has won 3 straight
3 leagues. Yeah.
So what was that? We had the one football league, and we came back. We did the other football, then we did hockey. And then this year, we haven't had 3 football seasons.
Well, I'm 2-0. I know that.
You've had 2 wins. Yeah, 2 wins. And so far, it's just kind of like one of those things where I just keep double or nothing it.
Okay, can we go? Philip Forsberg just scored a hat trick. I want to go watch the rest of the Preds game.
I think I just accidentally traded Philip Forsberg in one of my fantasy leagues.
You're an idiot.
For Steven Stamkos.
That was dumb. Philip
Anyways.
Forsberg's going to score 60 this year.
Yeah, I'm worried.
In
Jackson
60
Seals chiming in. Big Noel dub, 87-40. Could have won by 100. That's a little cocky, Jackson. Calm down. But they won tonight. Jackson's basketball team.
Nice.
Grade 12, senior men's
Which school?
basketball. Noel.
Hey, it's my alma mater.
Yep, Jackson goes there.
Nice work, Jackson.
Star basketball player.
At a kid.
He's a good player. Good man.
How many points?
Good young man. How
Did
many
you
points?
Did you match Jonas Valanciunas' career high of 39 or something?
Is that a guess?
He hit like 7 3-balls in a row or something.
Jackson, what were your numbers? Put up your numbers, and then we'll go. Next
And if
week,
they're not good, lie about them, Jackson. It's fine.
here's a little quick mini poll. Here's a little
I like big polls.
tidbit. on
it's a
the
Tim Beeb.
future of our
It's
show.
not a tidbit. It's Tim Beeb.
Right, Tidbeeb.
How's that seltzer going?
Great. It's really good. So good, actually. There might be some changes coming to our show. I don't know how much you want to really talk about it, but Max, he's going like Billy Madison. He's going back to school
To prove that I'm not a fool.
which is going to be a real uphill climb.
7 classes, man.
7.
What's the
classes.
over-under on how many that I fail? Just kidding.
3?
Yikes.
Yeah.
You have no
I'll
faith
take the
in-
under.
You'll take the under? That's
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
It's just being nice.
Really? We're
I
setting
didn't
it
set
at
the
3?
odds. I didn't set the
Wow.
odds. It's all over insert betting place here. But
Wait, we know the Rona slogan, but we don't know any of the
I didn't.
9,000 betting
We're not
partners?
sponsored by one.
That's
We
true,
might
yes,
we might
yeah.
have some stuff
Squad
on the
Select
go.
sets the over-under.
Might have some stuff on the go, so I didn't want to say any one
Oh, yeah,
particular
that's
thing.
right. Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
but
Are we divulging that?
should we? I don't see why.
No, it's not set.
Well, we'll wait on
It's
that.
not
We have a big thing coming up with hockey stuff.
With hockey stuff
Maybe.
and things.
So stay tuned. But one thing that we might not be able to do when Max goes back to school in January
Yes.
is Tuesday night shows.
Like Mac Jones, I'm not used to the cold weather at that time, so I can't make it back in.
Yes. Well, he's going to be out of town
That's
all
true.
day and
Going back to
just
your hometown.
Moose Jaw,
Every day.
Saskatchewan. Yes.
Great
so
place.
with that in mind, what would you like us to do for shows?
Yeah.
Would you like a later Tuesday night show? It might not be in the studio. Would you like a different night? I don't know if I wanted to necessarily do a different night. Would you like a Sunday morning show? Would you like
With
a
some coffee.
a Saturday morning show? What type of stuff would you like?
Cartoons are on Saturday morning. I can't commit to
Okay,
Saturday
Sunday
mornings.
morning
Can't do that.
probably is preferred.
Yes.
How would you like us to proceed? That's just a quick question because we aren't going to go away. We're still very much committed to the show. We really like doing it. We like the connection. But we just for the next foreseeable future, we might have to change it up a little bit. And
Call an audible, as they say.
on top of that,
Yeah.
with changing it, we're going to do our weekly show like this. But there might be more stuff coming as well on top of
It's true.
it.
It's true. We're certainly not leaving yet.
Which might be a weekend or a weekday evening, potentially. So there's that to consider. But Elias says Saturday night. I don't know if we want to do Saturday
Yeah, I was going to
nights.
say,
People are usually
hockey
doing stuff on Saturday
schedules
nights.
might conflict.
But I think Sunday morning might be our approach. We might do a 10 a.m. Saskatchewan time Sunday
Great
morning.
time for Tim Beebs.
Right before football kicks off. We can do our football picks on Sunday rather than Tuesday.
Well, come January, there'll only be a month left of football. So.
True. Yeah, we don't have that much left. But then we can always do hockey picks or whatever.
That's
More
right.
fit into that. But I think Saturday or Sunday mornings is kind of the way. So if that's cool with everybody, it's not happening immediately, but in the near few weeks, just keep that in mind.
Yes.
And again, like I said, with that, there'll be more stuff actually coming in at the end of the day.
Pretty cool stuff.
Pretty fun stuff that we're pretty excited about. One thing baseball related, one thing hockey related.
Yes.
Just I'll say that.
You had some productive meetings today, didn't you?
I had a lot of meetings today. I did. So let's shut her down. Jordan wants to go
I
home.
think we successfully hit the over now with
yeah,
that,
we got the
you
over.
know,
I had to help out. I was kind of doing a little bit of gambling fraud there.
preambling.
Some people said that they were bet the over,
Rambling?
so I was helping them out.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
They're gonna cut me in on the overall deal.
Oh, they're cutting you in.
Yeah, Alan says they should do basketball picks. I don't know.
Maybe we do a Hoop Life league of
Oh, now we're talking.
picks. But again, we're going to need some more resources in the graphic department because our bye-week graphic designer is just taking advantage of a lot of bye weeks that don't exist in a season.
Yeah, we got to fire that guy.
He sucks.
He sucks.
He's terrible.
We should send him back to school.
He is not performing. He is Mark Bergevin. He is fired.
Oh,
Too
ouch.
soon?
Too soon.
Too soon?
All right. Thanks to all our sponsors: IKS, Rockstar, Original 16, Great Western Brewing, Hoop Life Basketball, RBI Baseball. I'm producer
And
Clark.
Wood jerseys.
Wood jerseys, Squad
Promo
15.
code SQUAD15.
Squad 15. Do CFL picks. Well, Elias, the hard part is that the CFL doesn't happen from January to April, and that's when this is going to be happening. So we can't do CFL picks during that particular time
Gonna
frame.
be a little tough. Gonna be a little tough.
For producer Clark, that's me. I'm him. Mad Max to my right, and director Jordan in the back. He's by himself tonight. Jordan, you want to give a noise? Not really. He says
No, he's tired.
wants
He's
to go home.
sleeping. He's done.
We'll see you next week. I think right back here. Janelle Barkman's checking in super late. Sorry, Janelle. We're done.
Take care,
We'll see you
everybody.
next week.